really like how the bot randomly speeds up and skips in the middle of the music. It really makes it unique.
Oh, that is the bot actually doing that? I thought that was just something on my end doing that.
No, it's the bot. Everyone hears it like that. It's fantastic.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, I had music playing on my browser in the background, and then that started playing. And then they got all jumbled. I had scrambled to shut it off in the browser because it was hurting my brain.
That's one of the reasons I wasn't able to do the Dark Side of the Moon Pink Floyd album with the Wizard of Oz.
You're supposed to turn the volume off on the Wizard of Oz, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're supposed to mute it.
Huh. Maybe I'll have to try that again. I don't know. I like both of those pieces of art individually. I see no reason to meld them.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland and The Wall, I think, is a better sync-up than Dark Side and Wizard of Oz.
I wonder if an album ever been written specifically for that purpose.
Oh, I'm sure there has.
This is all live, by the way.
We're live?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I figured why not. We occasionally break into the audio open anyway. It's not a huge breaker show like it was last week. How about my rant last week? I didn't even that wasn't even planned. That was pure
top
alcohol.
10 rants of all time.
Huh?
Are you sure we're live? Because the stream's not popping up in my subscription feed on YouTube.
It says I'm live.
Huh. Let me just go to the channel.
Oh, Larry's with us now.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize you guys had jumped on.
Oh no, it's all good.
Yeah, we're live.
It just didn't give you the notification. Huh.
Oh,
I know we're not muted.
Well, I was.
Go ahead.
I was dealing with something else elsewhere, and that was why I didn't know that didn't get the notification until earlier. I was having some delicious pineapple upside down cake while that notice came over.
Excellent. All right, we're gonna do the real intro.
I got some.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
All right.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Comics. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, The Church of Failure. With me, as always, my trusty co-host, Ayrton McCartney. How you doing today, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. I got some crab ragoon from an ice cream place for dinner so far.
Well, normally you get ice cream at a crab ragoon place, not the other way around.
Right. Nope, definitely. Got some custard and some crab ragoon. That was my dinner.
Also
delicious.
Joining us, if you couldn't already figure out by his face being on the screen and his voice being amplified through your ear holes, Larry Bernard, aka Karasoth, also joined us. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing great.
Well, I first want to thank you for basically agreeing to carry the show in not so many words, because I had nothing. I tried to sit through JusticeCon, and I made it about 7 minutes. And 4 of those minutes were complete silence. There was not even music playing for the first 4 minutes. And about minute 7, I just I felt my brain starting to bleed out of my ears, and I was just like, nope, I'm done. Not doing it. We can look at that later on in the show if you'd like to see how awful it was. I
Yeah.
like sharing awful things with people.
We're going to be talking about something more serious.
I know. Real quick on the ice cream thing though, I do want to chime in on that. Weirdest ice cream I've ever had: red bean ice cream from an Indian Korean fusion restaurant.
Indian Korean fusion restaurant.
Yes,
That just sounds like my kind of random ass racket that I'd be into that shit.
I mean it had the hottest curry I've ever seen in my life. Like it literally
Ooh,
comes out and the
nice.
bowl is on fire.
That
Like they just bring you a
about
bowl
right.
of lava and they're like, "Here, eat this. It'll be great."
I'm down.
And they're really
Where is
stingy
this
with the
asshole penetrating deliciousness?
I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Anyway, Larry, you came to me last week. We briefly discussed a topic. By the way, I was talking to Ayrton about this. Last week's rant, completely unplanned. No idea why I couldn't keep that bottled up any longer. It could have been the liquor, but I stand by it. I'm not pulling it down. Fuck y'all. Don't be greedy. Deliver good comic
You know, a
books
little
and don't be an
party
asshole.
liquor. A little party liquor is good for everybody.
A lot of party liquor
we're
is
going
good
to take
for
a
me.
little. Yeah. So we're going to take a little segue out of the normal space for comics, but I mean, you guys do wrestling, and you've covered some other topics on the side, right? I think didn't you do the D&D stream that one time?
We did the D&D stream. We've done some gaming shows. It's more of a variety
Old
thing.
time radio.
It kind of always gravitates back towards comics because for some reason, like I already have some connections to what we're talking about tonight in comic book, like queued up in the back of my head.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just here.
All right. So back at the dawn of the internet, people who were witches began to populate the internet, and cycles of drama that happened to real life occultists and practitioners started to manifest themselves on the internet. And we had a couple weeks ago one of the latest examples of the sacred versus the profane. So do you understand the technical terminology of the sacred and the profane?
White
Yeah.
witches versus black witches, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Sacred is anything you hold to be sacred. So basically, you could frame the entire argument about what's going on in comic books as a sacred versus the profane argument.
Right,
People
but both
who
sides think
don't
they're sacred
hold-
and think the other side is profane. So there's really no water in that argument, right?
Well, no. Actually, Mags wouldn't consider herself making a sacred argument.
You don't think so?
She would. No, her entire comic books would fit entirely in the profane argument because they're about things outside of a rarefied space. They're supposed to be part of the people, the common man, the things that haven't been brought into the light of comics. So they're trying to bring something from the profane into the sacred space.
Right, but now
Not the other way around.
This isn't a morals argument. This is a generalities argument. Then
No.
okay.
No. These are technical terms. So, like,
Okay.
it was an
think I
old
follow.
term that the sacred is. Yeah, it's like religion. Certain cultural pillars are to be considered sacred and to be treated differently than just going out and talking stupid stuff at the bar with people.
Right. Okay.
They're two different classifications. High, low culture, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, when you're in occultic circles or supernatural or mystical circles, the people who know the most are at the most sacred center, and people on the outside are always trying to get in, and gatekeeping, as we know all good and well, does happen. And some people are like, well, screw your gates. I'm going to hex the moon. And that's what this current thing is about.
Okay, now wait a minute.
So,
Before we get into this, we read comic books, so suspending our disbelief is not something that is uncommon to people like me and Ayrton, or you, for that matter, if you also read comic books. So, are you asking us to to throw, and I don't know how Ayrton feels, but obviously I'm a man of logic a lot of the time. That's why I drink, because nothing
I
fucking
am
makes
going to
sense.
be expressing this. I'm going to be expressing this from the perspective of somebody who has both a background in religious sociology as well as somebody who has a background in practicing of these sorts of things.
But
So I'm
as
not going
the
to be asking you to make.
okay, but as the observer, should we take everything at face value and just like accept this, or should we, be questioning in our head, what does any of this matter
The,
because witches aren't real? Lol.
well, there are going to be moments where we're going to be questioning things along this journey, but I'm also going to be expressing them in a religious, sociological perspective, philosophical perspective, in a way that you can say,
Larry,
okay,
have you ever tried DMT?
I have not. No.
Sorry, I just wanted to have a Joe Rogan moment.
And the correct line is, "That's wild. Have you ever done DMT?" That's the Joe Rogan line.
Hey, Jamie, pull that up.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Continue. I'm actually fascinated as an amateur religion and mythological scholar.
Yeah, so
I'm all down for this.
magic is a thing we're going to be talking about, but we're not going to be talking about like magic like Doctor Strange or Doctor Fate. Magic in this frame of reference is a lot more like hyping yourself up, self-hypnosis, but not even self-hypnosis. It's the ability to believe and visualize, and through that sort of experience reality and have more control over it. That's going to be one of the points we're going to be discussing here, because hexing.
Okay.
Right.
So, when you say magic,
It's the negative energy you
I
have
think you
inside
cut out
of
for a
your
second. Start
approximate
Larry.
and communicating to somebody else, and you project that negative energy
Larry,
towards them. They can.
You cut out for a
Yes.
second. Start
You cut
over.
out after you said hexing.
Is Discord? What was that?
You
cut out
out
after you said hexing.
Yes.
Discord is being hexed.
Right.
So
right. They know we're on to them.
hexing. Exactly. So hexing isn't real in the sense of there's a book that says here's how you hex somebody, but it's real in the sense that you can project your negative energy onto somebody else, and through psychological processes of mirroring and things like that, they can internalize that negative energy, and that can lead to certain psychosomatic effects in people. But the principles of that hexing are also tied into a spiritual principle where hexing is totally a real thing you can do, where you can totally shoot somebody with negative energy and make bad things happen to them.
Right.
But from a standpoint of a phenomena, those two things are normally indistinguishable from each other, and a distinction without a difference. But these people on TikTok decided they were going to hex the moon. So we're gonna use some language here to kind of discuss this. So have you ever heard of a hexed piece of land before? You've heard of a place being cursed, right? You've heard of a place being
like Indian
haunted.
burial ground.
Indian burial grounds,
right.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. So you don't hex a place; you curse a place. You can curse a single person, but you generally curse multiple people. Hexing is normally a negative thing done towards a singular individual. So when this is being circulated through the broader witch and occult internet, everybody's going like, oh God, it's these newbies who don't know how to use terms and who are being dumb again.
Well, as opposed to like moving into a haunted house, it's more like a voodoo doll
thing. Basically.
Okay.
So this whole thing happens, and the thing is, nobody seems to have had the original story. Everybody's got like a second or third or fourth hand version of this story, which makes me suspicious this is all an elaborate internet troll by somebody who's in the scene who would find that hilarious. So these witches decided to hex the fairies.
I'm looking at you, Eric.
Not that kind of fairies. Not that kind of fairies.
No. An elaborate internet troll that somebody would find funny. I'm looking at Ayrton right now.
Yes. So one of the parts of the story is they had tried to hex the fairies. So that then you have another immediate question you have to ask yourself. Well, what exactly are fairies in this context? So using the DMT reference is a great thing. Is some people in a newer form of spirituality who do DMT, they get to go to a place where they talk to the fairies.
The Clockwork Elves.
The Clockwork Elves. Exactly.
The aliens. The little
So
gray
the-
men. I'm kind of retarded.
So the fairies are beings that exist that are natural spirits, but they're not deities except when they are. But normally
Yeah,
they're not.
one might call them like the fair folk.
The
Like,
fair folk
they're-
is another name they
yeah,
go
they're
by.
they're like spiritually fair, like above us, sort of thing, or angels, or whatever.
Well,
You
that
can conflate
gets,
all of them.
So
that
it's
gets
the left.
the angels gets into another dimension.
It's the political left. Then they exist on a higher echelon to us because they can get away with committing crimes.
Well, that's one way to look at it, but they are connections to the old ways, the ways of nature, the ways outside of reason.
So
They're more chaotic things.
like your
They're beings that come out of dreams.
like your medicine man type person would be one of the people that they like spiritually connected with or something like that. And some of these old holistic
Kind
people.
of, though the medicine man would arguably be connecting to a different thing. So right there you have a problem because the fairies are beings drawn out of chaos, drawn out of dreaming, drawn out of fantasy. So how exactly does your using negative energy on them work to hex them? It doesn't. But a bunch of people got really upset about people on the internet saying that they tried to attack the little people.
But they use the proper
And of
connotation
course-
of little people.
Well, this is a different connotation, but it is proper. This is a different but proper.
They prefer people McNuggets. Thank you very much.
And so they then go from, they tried to hex the fairies, then they went to hex the moon. Now, there are several ways to explain how you go from point A to point B, but none of the people who tell these stories knows that for some reason, which again is a little burr that when I first heard these stories, it was like itching in the back of my head. It's like key details are missing. There's just enough details to make this sound credible, but not enough details for you to actually have anything useful as a bit of information to wrap your head around. So there are several realms of the fairy that are connected to the moon through folklore. So were they trying to blast the fairy on the moon? We don't know. None of the people who've recounted this story on the internet seem to know that.
And no
All they know
perpetrator
is-
has come forward to take credit and explain their evil mastermind plan like in a James Bond flick.
Basically. And I don't want to download Chinese spyware on my phone to find them. My
That's fair.
curiosity does not go that far.
Yeah, I basically see all of my TikToks on Twitter, which is the only place I give away any of my personal information.
Exactly. So they blasted a hex, which isn't how that works, at the moon. So while again, magic isn't the kind of magic you see in comic books and stories and fictions, but there are certain principles of magic that carry through from one realm of context to another.
Well, this is where I'd like to break in on a serious note, because I have a Native American background, and a lot of my relatives and everybody have, always talked to me about the old ways, and I've done the research and stuff like that, and I actually have, being the person that I am, sat down and tried to figure out why the rain dances were so important, and I've always come down to I've always come down to the fact that it's the power of spirit, so to speak, whatever your soul is, whatever gives a person life, the essence. When you congregate, then, you see the negative effects of, the protests going on with Black Lives Matter now.
Mhm.
Well, you take that same theory and you put a bunch of people together in a Native American tribe several hundred years ago before Americans ever saw North America. the English ever saw North America and the Spaniards or whatever, and it was still Native Americans running around from tribe to tribe. Well, you take a group of, let's say, 450, 500 people, and you put them all together in a little tribe, and they all gather around the fire at night, and the village elder comes out and he says, "There's a drought, no rain. No rain means no food. No food means we either have to continue to migrate or we do the rain dance." And you would come together in a general consensus, and the chief would do a rain dance. And it was the metaphysical soul, so to speak, in all of those people, the combined willpower that supposedly would bring the rain, not the dance itself. The dance was just a channeling device. And it's not magic per se, but it's a connection with the universe that we can't understand through science, so that's the name it gets. And that's the only way that I can actually, understand this and rationalize it and put it in a little box inside my head and accept it.
Well, that's all well and good, but we're gonna get to a place where I'm gonna make it very easy for you to explain. So energy is energy, right?
Of course.
Whether
Yeah.
it's magic energy, whether it's energy, it's all energy. So there's certain principles about energy that exist. So if I'm going to send energy from here to the moon, I'm going to need to have a lot of it, or I'm going to need to focus it really tightly.
Right, like a laser.
And even if I focus it really tightly, energy's going to get lost. This will be more important for later on in the story.
Okay.
Next, we have to deal with the fact that things have properties. Now, they have physical properties that sometimes correlate to their magical properties. So the moon has a physical property where it is a reflector, reflects the sun's light. It also has a spiritual property where it's reflective. So you're going to shoot a laser beam of negative energy at the moon. What's going to happen?
It bounces back.
Right. So that was another problem with this story that went in. But we're going to go another level deeper here. So the moon is associated with divine beings, numerous ones. So if you're shooting at the moon, the physical moon, you're also shooting at all of those things. So that beam of energy gets diffused among all of those things. The moon is also connected to various spiritual planes of existence, different levels of existence. So it gets diffused among all of that. So if you're going to hex the moon, it's getting divided out hundreds of thousands of different little directions and things. But again, people on the internet were getting upset that this was being done.
Well, isn't Nick Fury up there? Wouldn't he just take care of it?
He would in the Marvel comics, yes. Yes,
Okay.
he would. He would
Okay.
be able to sort that problem out, no problem.
All right.
So the next layer to this story is people were saying that deities were upset that people were trying to blow up the moon with a hex. That Artemis was very upset that she was getting shot at by people, and Apollo was upset, and that's very bad to do when it's a time of a pandemic and you have one of the gods of healing mad at you. And
Yeah.
Zeus and Hecate were also mad.
Right.
So
As
we
you would
then
think.
have to get into the next.
Yeah, just
as
leave
a
out the
Christian would
Norse
be.
deities. Why don't you? Bunch of
Well,
races.
yes, that is one of the things that a lot of people complain about. Like, wait a minute, why are only the Greek gods getting involved in this story?
Yeah,
Yeah,
where's Mani and where's
Be-
Thor
be-
to
be-
defend him?
Because Wicca, of course, tends to be more. Well, let me rephrase that. They tend to be a mixture of Celtic,
Yeah.
Germanic, and by Germanic I mean both Germanic and Norse and Greek.
Well,
But the
more
Greeks
more Saxon than
Yeah, more Saxon.
Germanic, right?
Yeah. But they tend to get a lot more Greek because the Greek gods are more famous. What are you going to do about that? They got better PR and marketing.
They do.
That's a fair point. And Nordic magic works differently than how the Wiccans practice it.
Right. They got their own
That's a whole
special
nother-
subsect.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion.
If Novel
So,
Bro keeps going
let's
off
say
in the chat,
that-
I'm gonna have to bring him in. I hope you realize that.
That's fine. That's fine. So Church, let me ask you a question. If you're going to talk to a god, what are you talking to?
Who am I talking to?
What are you talking to?
In my opinion, as basically an atheist, if I'm talking to a god, I'm just kind of looking up at the sky and hoping that I'm wrong.
Well, no. We're talking in a thought experiment where it's talking back to you.
Oh, well, if I'm talking to God and
And-
talking back to me, then in my head, with my Christian upbringing, it is, this omnipotent being with no mass who somehow I was made in his image.
Right. So when you're dealing with occultic perspectives, there are more complications to this. So you have the concept of God that's in your head.
Right.
And that concept of God
Big white
talks
beard,
to people when
basically
they're
Zeus.
or any other deity. You have that concept in your head that talks to you
Mhm.
when you're a believer, when you're invested in it. That concept that's in your head, that's in your imagination, it's kind of like an imaginary friend. A technical term is a thought form. So you can create a thought form of a god in your head, it can talk to you. So if you have Artemis telling you, hey, you're shooting the moon, that's mean, that's not necessarily Artemis talking to you. That's a form of Artemis in your head talking to you that's trying to give you a sort of validation for your desire to talk down to other people who are garbage on TikTok. Did I get dropped off again?
No,
No,
you're still
no,
here.
keep going.
We're just listening. I'm
Okay.
trying not to interrupt unless
Okay.
there's dead air.
No. There was like a little drop off there. So I was like, on what? Okay. So so now, if you're really deep and really thoughtful, occasionally a thought form can escape and go out free range in the world. Those are actually very rare. But of course, there's also the fact that people have venerated a deity, and that veneration echoes throughout existence. So you can also reach out, communicate with that idea.
Okay, real quick, we do have a caller. Hold on 1 second. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Okay.
Dillard, what are you doing?
Oh my God, Dillard.
Wait, what?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Good.
We're talking about the moon and head switches.
And the
Oh,
occult.
shit, that sounds interesting.
It's pretty interesting.
Well, feel free to hang out, buddy.
Yeah, hang out.
I'm captivated.
And get a mic stand.
Yeah, my
God
wife
damn
hit me
it.
up with some witchcraft. I'm thinking that she's like a some sort of a witch now. I don't know.
Who, your wife?
Because she's talking about stuff that she's talking about stuff that she don't have no business knowing. Like she was like, "Oh, I had a dream about a cat and a spider." Right, and I'm like, "Okay, but that same stuff is happening like over here by the shed in the middle of the night when she's already asleep with the baby." I'm like, "Are you like projecting yourself around over here and checking stuff out?" Or
when Larry gets through his
I'm
thing,
actually going to be getting to that.
When Larry gets
I'm actually going to be getting around to that.
Hold on, I've got some.
Yeah, I'm thinking about attacking her.
Go ahead.
So I'm actually going to get into that whole thing. I'm going to do a little segue where we can talk about the wife with the cat and the spider. So when you worship a god, there's a broader spiritual thing that you can touch into, especially when you're with other people. Now, there's something primal called the collective unconsciousness, or the collective subconscious, where ideas exist. So like all that Joseph Campbell monomyth stuff, it exists at a deep psychological level. So the cat and the spider thing is something that your wife pieced together in her subconscious mind and assembled them there. So
dude, are you able to even think with this music so loud?
What? It's not. It's 35%.
Yeah, it's not that loud.
Turn it down in the Discord, Dillard.
Yeah, it's at like 20%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
you boomer.
I can't even hear you talking.
Yeah, you gotta turn the rhythm bot down. Fucking up the flow.
At the collective unconscious subconscious level, your wife probably saw the cat, probably saw the spider, and probably in the back of her mind filed it away. When she was dreaming and in her sleep, boom, it all came up to the top. And in that same miasma of stuff in your mind, the ideas that gods are exist. The Athena as an idea exists in your mind. So you can also reach deep into your mind, not just to the spiritual concept or to somebody else's thought form or your own thought form, but the primal idea that exists collectively in all people's minds. So now, if you have a day-to-day problem you're wanting to talk to God for,
well,
go ahead.
The thing that you just referenced, I mean, is that not an analog to the Native American ideology that I just put forward? Is that it's the collective consciousness of the group?
Yes, it would in fact be that.
Okay.
This is like a psychological theory that explains some of these parapsychological things. It's an action of the collective unconscious. Now, you can go a level deeper, and if gods exist as beings, they exist a level deeper than that. And if there's a being that, yes.
Well, there's a very touted scientific theory out there that say that the gods exist on the third or the fourth or fifth dimension beyond our realm of understanding, but they are actual beings that exist in those dimensions. We just can't perceive them.
But, so if you're going to actually attack, if you're going to have to attack a deity, you have to get to the idea of a deity that's deeper than your collective unconscious, subconscious idea. And obviously, if you're shooting the moon, you can't shoot just one person when you're shooting the moon. You'll be shooting everybody who's connected to the moon. So once people like me started asking reasonable questions and going, hey, wait a minute, nobody seems to know anything else about this whole witches trying to hex the moon. And some of them said they were going to try to hex the sun as well. So these witches hex the moon, hex the sun. It's a bunch of people, I think, trolling on the internet to create a bit of controversy because we're all going stir crazy from the coof.
I would agree with that.
It always comes back to the coof.
Or
did we go muted again?
No, you're still good. So it's either that or it's a bunch of people bored during quarantine and decided
to... You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you not hear us? Hold on.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Discord could be.
Yeah, Discord. I'm telling you, they're hexing Discord right now to try and disprove your theories.
So that's the saga of the witches who are cursing the moon.
So Larry, could it be that, or could it be a bunch of people bored during quarantine and deciding to casually take up Wicca and not knowing what they're doing? Because it really could be either or at this point.
Now you get another layer. So if you Google Augustus Saul Invictus, he was a disreputable person who ran for the Senate in Florida.
I was going to say, that's Go Blood Man, right?
That's Go Blood Man. And he's currently facing some charges for beating up his significant other, which is a big yikes for me. But he started trying to summon different spiritual beings while doing LSD. And summoning spiritual beings, because of the different types of spiritual things you create, can kind of fuck up your head. Because if you're talking to your imaginary friend in your head and you think it's not the imaginary friend in your head, but it's actually a sky being in another dimension who's trying to give you divine truth, you start to believe your own BS and it starts to warp and confuse you.
Right. It's kind of like that, I can't remember the guy's name, but the martial arts guy who said he could use energy to knock out an opponent, and he got all of his students to believe it so it would work on them. And they sweared on their mother's life that it was working. To the point that he started believing his own bullshit.
Exactly.
I think I can find a clip of that guy on YouTube. Let me see if I can find that.
The guy's hilarious. Yeah, pull up a video and play it in the background.
Wait, aren't you Jamie?
So funny to watch.
You find the video and I'll pull it up. How about that? You're Jamie. I'm Joe Rogan.
Okay, I'll find the video. Fine.
So this is why I wanted to talk about this.
Good.
This is why I wanted to talk to people about witches trying to hex the moon, because This was just something fun that I needed to share, and that's another aspect of it. So the moon is a liminal object in a spiritual space, so it exists between light and darkness. So you can't hurt the moon with your negative energy because it exists as a guardian between light and darkness. Likewise, Artemis is a liminal deity. She's the huntress. She goes between the wildness of the primeval forest and the civilized world. So again, you can't hurt her with the negativity because she's a being that exists in both worlds. But more importantly than that, she's a hunter. You don't just randomly get lucky and take a pot shot at a hunter, unless they're drunk in the wood. Obviously, that goes without saying. You would basically have to actually trap a hunter or target one on purpose and get a lucky shot off. So the Artemis part of the story didn't make any GD sense. And when people said, "Well,
Zeus is language on this show, Larry."
Yeah. So people saying, "Oh, well, Zeus was bad." It's like, well, Zeus is also kind of a trickster deity. Like he's a semi-retired trickster deity. So he might be on this because it's a gag. If you actually,
and a horny bastard.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're tapping into actual Zeus, he could be I'm just gonna play with you guys here.
Novelbro brings up a good point. He says, let's face it, the Gospel of Comics is still going through its brain red band era. But who's Joey Diaz then? And I got to thinking about it. That would technically make you Joe Rogan, Larry, and me Joey Diaz.
Wow, that's wild. Have you ever done DMT?
Church has done all of the drugs.
And then some.
At once, probably, at some point.
Not all of them at once, but in multiple different varieties and configurations, yes. Anyway, no, I wanted to bring this
cocaine
back.
And LSD.
I wanted to bring this back to comic books in a way. Now, with the way that modern witches, quote unquote, rationalize their practice, would you say that they would be closer to like a John Constantine, everything has a cost and karma takes its toll type of situation, or are we looking at some other type of, what would be the best way to personify these in a pop culture reference for the masses, basically?
So Wicca uses a 3 rule, so whatever you send out comes back to you by 3. They're not the type of occultists who actually use there's a price to be paid with magic. That's more like the serious guys who go into semi-Masonic garb and do semi-Masonic rituals for their magic. They're more the ones about prices and consequences. There's not really a good Wiccan analog for a Wiccan magic user. And that's including especially the character Wiccan from the comic books.
Wiccan's just a fucking nerfed Scarlet Witch. Nobody wants to accept it.
Exactly.
They made Scarlet Witch kind of gay.
Yeah, basically.
And I say kind of gay.
Scarlet Witch basically has.
Go ahead.
Scarlet Witch is basically a reality-altering superhero who also does magic.
Well, the magic is reality-altering, like statistically making things possible that should be impossible. I was doing some research.
Well, no, she also knows magic.
Wait, I thought her magic came from the reality warping. Like this is fucking with me a little bit. Where would it explain that she could use classic magic as opposed to her mutant power just being able to statistically do magic?
Because her magic is connected to the Darkhold. So since she was altered because of the magic of that, that's where that comes from.
I didn't realize
it's connected to her mutant powers, but it's separate. It affected her powers and didn't affect Pietro's powers.
Because Pietro's powers weren't anything close to magic. Like her powers were basically already magic. Like because she could do it, it was scientifically plausible. Like here's where magic fucks with me, right? Magic exists on a principle that you can't do something because it's scientifically impossible. Well, I could make a fireball appear in my hand, just like pyro, or any other fire-wielding superhero from any other comic book. And even Pyro, he couldn't create the fire. He could only manipulate it. But let's say I could create a fireball, right? Like a fucking Hadouken from Street Fighter. It would have to be explained scientifically in some way, shape, or form, just due to a difference in your biology. Maybe, your sweat glands are caustic to everyone but you, and you have something like your nails are made of flint and steel, and you can like spark something. There would have to be a scientific explanation to your ability to create fire from nothing. It's just we don't understand that science, which is why it's deemed magic, right? Like, am I making sense?
Nah, bro.
No, you make sense.
Dillard just
shut up, Dillard. No one asked you.
But no, I mean, think about it. Back in the day,
get a mic stand, Dillard.
Back in the day, also Dillard, I saw you painting your cover the other night. That was a fantastic replay. I really enjoyed that. You do good stuff. But speaking of which, drop me a link to that piece. Drop me a link to that piece, and I'll pull it up before the show goes off to let everyone bask in the glory that is the cover of the buckle. But it just back in the medieval times, many scientific things that we know today were considered magic, including Harry Potter. Everyone knows what Harry Potter is. Don't bullshit me. Potions class. Well, I mean, potions and pharmaceutical medication are really no different. You're combining chemicals and ingredients and things that have properties that will go and be introduced to the body to cure or relieve or alter some form or facet of your internal chemistry. But it was magic.
Performance enhancing.
Right, but it was magic back in the day, right? Like, you give somebody some cocaine in fucking prehistoric times, and they're going to think that you just, like, hit them with a speed-up spell or some shit. But nowadays, we just know it's overpriced white powder that, farmed in South American slaves.
I mean, Arthur C. Clarke is the one who said magic is just science we don't understand. You can almost conflate the two.
Right.
Depending on how far back you go and look at stuff.
So, what I don't understand...
You want me to put it in general or art and shit?
Wherever you want to put it, I'll find it. Just as long as it's not in my ass.
Yeah, wherever you want to put it, he'll take it that way, Dillard.
I just said as long as it's not in my ass. I saved myself.
Right, I put the link in the general.
Okay. All right. We'll pull that up. But first, if you look in live show chats, Ayrton has posted a video for us. I'm going to copy that and get it booted up for the people. This is the fighter that fought with
fucking
energy.
Love that color.
Oh yeah,
it's actually a compilation of a bunch of no touch martial arts is what they call it.
Okay, so we won't watch the whole thing, but we'll get the general principle.
Nah, just play some of it because
South Carolina home.
Alright, so not gonna get your ad, fuckers. Alright. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'll just got to skip the ad. Nearly there.
Oh.
Did you break it already?
I always broke it.
Alright, well, I'm ready.
Why is it... I hate everything.
There we go.
It should be full screen, but it's not. But fuck it, I'm just gonna go with it. Alright. I'm gonna hit play right now.
fine. Keep going. It's fine. Good job.
This is goddamn ridiculous. What is he doing? He tarring up his elbow?
Not his energy.
The invisible tattoo.
Man, if that works, how do crimes even happen?
Well, for it to work, you have to believe that it'll work. That's what one of the guys said when he was interviewed after being beat to shit by a real martial artist.
His broad ain't buying none of his bullshit.
I mean, he looks like a guy. He looks like a guy who would be on a Neil Breen movie,
Right? Doesn't he?
or better yet, Neil Breen should play this guy.
I was gonna turn the volume off, but it's just too good.
Probably Neil Breen's clone.
Oh, come on, you buffering piece of shit. There we go. I feel like you shouldn't fight somebody that's willing to hit you if you're not willing to hit them.
Shit! Change
Don't you just love this?
Got one more time to speak. And perhaps the throne.
When would you, instruct martial arts in a button-down shirt?
Have the rest of
Really seems like it would limit
All
your
the time.
I mean, he looks like he's a shop teacher.
He is a shop
Although
teacher.
the kids these days, they wouldn't. Yeah, the kids these days wouldn't understand what a shop teacher is.
Oh no! Oh no! This is how you avoid
Missing
getting
7
stabbed, by
inches.
doing nothing. Oh man, was there ever a no-touch fighter in the actual UFC? I remember back in the Wild West where they would
No.
let people fight out of weight class and shit. Oh, this is gonna be good. Do it, Sensei. Oh! Oh man. There's a couple in the back that are like, wait, I missed the cue.
It's like the guys in the fucking red.
See, if
red
this
suited
actually
dudes in the
worked,
throne
then
room
he
scene
would
of
be.
The Last Jedi where they missed their cue.
If this actually worked, this guy would be picking up and flipping these sons of bitches with pure ki.
Mm-hmm.
I done beat your ass a few times. You got another round or two in you?
Ow.
He's still down.
That's some Muay Thai right there. That is Muay Thai
They
right
had to come
the
get
head.
him. Poor guy.
He got knocked the fuck out.
All right, I'm stopping it there. That doesn't get any better than Anyway, now that we've done that, let's take a look at Dillard's cover real quick.
Oh, God, King, that man has a family.
Can you guys hear me?
What?
I was making I was making a Jim Ross reference.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Let's pull Dillard's cover up here. Let's see what we got. So we have to go onto twitter.com. But there we go.
Yeah, just a little caveat. It's not exactly like, finished. I still have to like get it scanned in, and make it into a cover and all that. This is just the finished painting the artwork for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's still good. Like,
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, especially like watching you paint this. Like that was the amazing part. Like you can always like see digital painting and shit and just be like, "Oh, that's cool." But to watch someone physically paint something and then know that that's going to end up being the final piece for a cover, that's pretty fucking baller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually really. It was cool. It was crazy fun just because I was able to like. Awesome. I was able to. Like, oh, thank you, man. No, because I was able to like
as much as I'm not going to do this. You, Dillard.
Oh my goodness. But why?
I don't know.
Why would you hate
still?
From where?
I don't know. I just thought we had beef just for shits and giggles.
Somebody said we had beef, and I was like, well, that's not. Give me somebody that's going to be like, hard to beef with,
like they're going to do an Ultraman comic book, and they have Alex Ross doing a cover for it. I'm like going, why didn't you all just pay for Alex Ross to do the whole inside of the book?
Because they can't afford that.
That would be a license.
That would bankrupt the company.
I think there would be enough people to buy it to make it worth their while.
I don't think so. Like you would have to sell like several million issues. So. Alex Ross charges a pretty penny for his covers.
He does.
That's good. As well, he should.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but I got a couple of my friends here from YouTube, and I threw them in the painting as well. Like the fat cop right there that's Rick Piper, and then I got my friend Muttman. He's from the other comic, the hero, Blood of the Patriots. He's the other cop on the left, and then got Cat back there and a little fighting with Shabby from Vestry comic book.
Yeah.
And I wanted to really capture the Buckler having, I wanted him to be like, this is the Buckler in his element. He loves to scrap. He's not a cerebral assassin. He loves to fight, and they're trying to arrest him, and he caused the big old ruckus, and he's having the time of his life.
Was one of your inspirations for the Buckler the God, what was it? Charles Bronson?
Who?
You don't know who Charles Bronson is? Get the fuck out of my chat.
Oh, you said Carl.
I said Charles.
Yeah, I know who Charles Bronson is, and absolutely not. And fuck you.
I don't know. I can see the Buckler stripping down butt naked and vaselining himself up in prison just to fight prison guards. To be fair, though, I can see you doing that as well.
Something like that. You're a pig, you know that?
Yeah, I do. Thanks.
No, anyway. Buckler looks like the guy who, if you went to prison, would find the biggest dude in the prison and just ass fuck him as hard as he could just to assert his dominance so no one would mess
That
with
was
him.
Also Charles Bronson. Thank you.
Well, Charles Bronson's like 5'3". What are you talking about?
He was still.
No, the Buckler's actually a pretty big. I made him a little bit too small in this picture. I was intending on making him bigger, but not that easy when you're doing stuff physical.
Right.
Do you remember Death Wish 3 when they tried to make Charles Bronson out to be an action hero by running around places and he was an old man and he couldn't run?
Oh, I couldn't get through Death Wish 1. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no. Shit, no. I'm thinking about Death Race, and that's a completely different franchise. But anyway, that's the Buckler's cover. It looks amazing.
That's with David Carradine, yeah.
Go watch Dylan.
Great, thank you. Thank you for showing that.
That's where he does that. Where he does that weird little like waddle run, right?
Go back the Buckler if you haven't already. If it's not available to back, then yell at Dillard until it is.
Oh, it's a sign-up sheet. It's an email sign-up sheet. I'm collecting emails right now. It's pre-launch.
And he's
so if you go over to the Indiegogo
every single
and
email.
type in the buckler, you can go ahead and you'll get a free sticker with your order if you sign up early. And also something else, but I'm not going to reveal what that is yet.
It's a used condom.
Again, it's a picture of his
but it's buckler. It's buckler related.
He's sending you a used condom. Don't believe him.
It's a red condom with a black stripe down the middle.
Used, still used.
He wasn't the one that used it.
Anyway, let's get back to witches here. So, one of my main questions about the whole witch thing.
Oh, I got a question for this witch guy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a witch guy, but I'm scholarly about such things.
Technically, they call those warlocks, Dillard.
Well, no, they don't.
So, in your experience,
that anymore.
Witch.
No, I'm not in there. I just studied that. I'm adjacent to witch adjacent.
So you're like you study witches like at Hogwarts.
He's like witch-ish.
Well, not at Hogwarts. Not at Hogwarts. No, I studied them.
No,
I
he's
studied
like
them
the
in
Steve
school.
Irwin of crazy people.
Anyway, ask your
I
goddamn
accept
question,
that. Like
Dillard.
Yeah.
Well, I would if they would stop correcting me. Okay, so like, just in your experience studying this stuff with your witch friends, how does the moon actually have a temperature?
That's a good question.
Well, I mean, of course it has. Of course, it has a temperature.
What is it?
I'd have to look at whatever the thermometer on the moon is.
I think you know what I mean. I think you're being
the moon is 260 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, and minus 280 degrees Fahrenheit at night at its highest and lowest.
But you know,
so
the radiation makes it hotter.
The question is, does moonlight on Earth,
does moonlight like
have a temperature?
Does the moon? No, the moonlight doesn't. It's kind of like asking if the stars have temperature on Earth. No, they're too far away to actually.
Yes,
I mean, technically,
you're going flat earther, aren't you?
No. Technically, they do, but it's like. But like the temperature of like moonlight is so minuscule because of most of the energy being gone by the time it hits the moon and then bounces out and forms illumination on the Earth, that it's very low to measure.
Right. So was that literally your only question? Like, why did you want to know that information? I'm curious.
The reason I want to know, there's a bunch of people that have on these websites and these YouTube videos that talk about the moon having some sort of a dangerous effect if you're in the moonlight, some sort of an effect on the human body that's.
Well, yeah, it turns you into a werewolf.
Not good.
Or a crazy person.
And then moonlight itself is colder than the ambient temperature.
It also negates your ability to drive if you're in the moonlight.
No, that's moonshine. You're thinking of church. You're thinking of moonshine.
Oh shit! Right. I get those two mixed up. Because see, when I drink the moonshine, I always wake up outside naked, looking up at the moon, not in my yard.
with your mouth in your chest, right?
Yes. Anyway, no,
I actually
did have a question. So, when did this event technically, supposedly take place, according to these third and fourth hand sources? Like, when did this moon hexagon?
3 weeks. 4 weeks ago.
Because that actually does correlate with the fucking heinous weather that we've had in this fucking country for the last month. Like, it's been hotter than it's ever been. There's been lightning like striking the same place 6 times, caught on video or some shit. There have been like disastrous thunderstorms followed by rainbows and shit. Like, did these bitches actually fuck with the moon and make it fuck up the weather?
No. Just everything's weird. It's 2020.
I was gonna say, it's like fucking Groundhog Day, but instead of it being the same day every day, it's some new bullshit every fucking day.
Basically,
like death amoebas in Florida now.
Actually, well, no, they've had death amoebas for a while.
Yeah, that's not new. Kind of like we just completely skipped over the Murder Hornet saga of 2020 to reinvent the Coop 2.0.
Right.
Massgate.
They find, I will say, so they found a carnivorous plant that's not native to Michigan, I think, in the UP, like last week.
Continue.
So that's fine.
And I mean, you could also talk about the UFO news that leaked out.
Oh yeah, the Borg cube.
Yeah, I saw people tweeting about that. What the fuck is this?
Basically, what has now started happening as a common practice with militaries with UFOs is they're not playing around with with swamp gas. Or like they just say, "We got no idea what this is."
But what about the Borg cube that was like 3 times bigger than the planet that I saw on Twitter today? Is that a thing? Also, when did 3 fucking celebrities die in one day? By the way, Regis Philbin, the co-founder of Fleetwood Mac, and somebody else all died today.
The guy who was from like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, the Nightmare on Elm Street like guy. Yeah. All today.
It's 2020, man. Yeah.
My kids are walking around talking about Santa Claus and Christmas, and I'm inclined to just put the fucking tree up and end the year early if everybody will get on board with this.
I mean, realistically, they're not going to have a Halloween. Kids need to get a win somewhere.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Maybe we...
I'm going to do it
You know as well as I do they're going to pay.
If I have to, I'm going to do it just like Easter. I'm just going to put fucking candy out all over the place. I'm going to dress my kids up. We're going to walk in circles around the house picking up candy. Whatever. Halloween's going to fucking happen and you can kiss my ass.
Yeah, just don't do it outside because there's autism in the grass.
That's right. And, apparently flesh-eating amoebas in Florida.
Yeah, but they're only in certain areas of water in Florida, so it's fine.
Hey, Chad, welcome to the show, buddy. You still here? Dillard? Your biggest fan just joined us.
I'm right here, man.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm busy. I'm busy compiling a tweet here. I'm doing a show like in an hour, like 40 minutes. We're gonna do another campfire story. Church, you should show up.
Man, I have good campfire stories.
Oh, nice.
I don't know about that bullshit you guys do.
Yeah, yours was great. But we're just doing a personal.
You weren't saying that on the show. You were giving me all kind of bullshit, like, "Oh, that didn't actually happen to you." No, it didn't fucking happen to me. It was a campfire story. You fuck.
I wrote a poem.
Hey, what's going on, Metal? I'm on live with Church right now. Hold on.
Fuck, send him a Discord link. I don't care.
I'll send you a link. If you can join, that'd be great. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, just tell him to jump in the waiting room.
Okay.
Here. You should be able to invite people.
Dude.
You should have that role.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's in the Hangouts that I have set up for my stream. I'm still telling him to wait.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to bring him on here. I was going to say, you can come on. I'll send him a Discord invite, but he's using Hangout, so he probably thinks Discord.
You want to come on, Metal?
We'll let anyone on. What do I do? That's why you're here.
All right, here, Dillard.
Invite him to the Discord. God damn it.
I'll DM you an invite link. How about that?
All right.
So, copied.
Do you guys want to hear my poem?
No, but say
sure,
it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So, quick backstory. I had a customer tell me about working in a nursing home and all the old people banging and shit. So, it inspired me to write this, and I call it Granny Panties. So, it goes like this. Roses are red, violets are blue, Ednas are green.
Oh. I hate you so much. You're fired. I'm not even going to play the clip. You're just fucking fired. Get out. Larry, you want to be the new co-host? Ayrton, done. I'm done with them.
I mean, I could always pop on here and there, but Ayrton's such a good Good guy for putting stuff together.
I don't know if Larry can handle your drunk ass on a weekly basis.
I don't know how you do, but I'm glad you did. That's why firing never sticks. Anyway, did anybody catch any of that Justice
because
Con
half
bullshit?
my family are alcoholics.
No, I didn't. What was going on with that?
Okay, well, I mean, we can go through the same 7 minutes that I did.
How about you just recap it for us?
No, I have to make other people hurt as well.
Well, I'm gonna need to get to bed,
YouTube
guys.
Decides not to be.
You have to stay with us, Larry.
I'll try to plug along for 7 more minutes.
No, if you really have to go, feel free.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. So thanks for having me on, and thanks for having me talking about the moon.
Hey, no problem.
And witches.
Wait, the witch guy's leaving?
Thank you.
The witch guy's leaving.
Fascinating as fuck.
Yeah, I go to bed. I'm tired, man.
All right.
So you guys on your way. You guys gotta hold down the fort. Yeah, I get up early, so I can only do so much of this late at night.
Okay,
fair enough.
I feel you. This is usually the time you dip out anyway. This is why you missed my epic rant last week. Is he gone already?
All right. Well, I'm not gonna have that guy come on then because he wanted to harass the witch guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. But no, did you catch any of Justice Con, Dillard?
Nah, I don't even know what that is.
All right. Well, I just put a link in the Discord. I'll boot it up into the OBS and get it set up. But let's see here. All right. So, interact.
Okay, right. let me go give it to him then. I'm gonna go get me a soda pop real quick.
Okay, sounds good.
A soda pop.
Yeah, he's from.
What are you gonna meet?
All right, middle. There's a link right there in the messenger chat.
What's going on?
Oh no, I put a link in the live show
chat. I have the video. No, don't play, you bastard! Stop it!
All right. When you get the link pulled up.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. When you get the link pulled up, you're gonna skip to 2:53 before you hit play. Okay.
All right. Oh, you fucker!
And I do apologize, but there is going to be a little bullying of the panelists picked for Justice Con. But keep in mind, this is 3 of the 7 minutes that I made.
How about just 2? How about just 250 because it's being a cunt.
Why are you so terrible?
It's not me.
This is 17 minutes long?
We're not going to watch the whole thing.
We're not watching the whole thing.
What's the timestamp we're starting at?
250.
250. Gonna need about 250.
I'm there, dude.
All right.
All right.
And 3, 2, 1. It's going to be silent for a second. Hit go right now. They didn't put any music or anything for 3 minutes.
Hi.
Oh my god.
Shit.
Yeah.
Jesus fuck.
There's so many of you. What's going on?
Like, I thought we ran a bad live stream, but Jesus Christ.
It's terrifying.
This is insane. I know.
Yes, that is terrifying, ma'am.
God.
That is very terrifying. The visit that just graced my fucking screen is goddamn
you guys
terrifying.
Ready?
I don't like this. Can we stop?
No, this is Zack Snyder's Justice Con, guys.
Really can.
I'm not going to be able to get a boner for a week now.
Yeah, we'd love to get
good.
But we can't.
Good.
God,
Feel my
all
pain.
kinds of places mentioned. I saw Mexico.
Are we supposed to be listening to what they're saying, or what are we doing?
I mean, I wouldn't. They're giggling like idiots and talking about countries that are.
Yeah, isn't it like middle of the night for you guys?
Yeah, but this is the panel for JusticeCon. These are the constant figures that will be talking to the major guests. This is who they hired to panel JusticeCon.
Slow mo. Oh my god.
Who are these bitches?
Nobody. Literally nobody.
Goddamn sandwich.
Literally, like, I would have accepted Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye the fucking Science Guy over these motherfuckers for a Comic-Con.
Oh my god, I can't even read all this.
Sri Lanka, El Salvador, India.
Oh my god, I can't even keep up with the chat.
Oh, that's far away.
We don't understand what cloud is because Zack Snyder's going to be here later. And the fat bitch at the bottom's going to interrupt him for the entire stream. That
Actually, we have.
All right, I'm gonna shut it down at 4:53. I think a minute's enough to indoctrinate you guys.
That's more than enough.
Yeah, all day with these three.
Oh, looks like Metal's over in the waiting room.
Okay, we'll pull him in. We'll pull him in. Metal, how's it going, buddy?
And while you do that, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, that guy Metal, he likes to talk. You talk to him.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, buddy? Welcome to the Gospel of Comics. We've talked about witches. We've talked about the horrendous cast at JusticeCon. What's on your mind tonight?
Oh yeah, not much.
Oh.
I just finished a podcast of my own earlier, so pretty down to talk about anything.
Okay, well,
they were talking about witches, Metal.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out whether the witches that hexed the moon were responsible for the bullshit weather in the United States recently, or was that just God punishing us for Black Lives Matter protests? But
what does that even mean, hexing the moon? What does that mean?
Well, that was the claim that was put out on TikTok. No bullshit.
No, it doesn't mean anything.
It's ridiculous.
Oh.
This
bottom.
isn't actually failure, William, in the chat.
He knows I'm not actually failure. William Stinchover just comes in to bust my balls every
Oh, okay.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I love you, Bill.
You deserve it.
I mean, I do.
Well, see, I'm not going to claim that witches couldn't affect the moon, but judging by how competent these are at like everything else in their lives, I highly doubt they had anything to do with that.
Well, I mean, I figure you can't really burn a little sage and fuck up the weather pattern for an entire country. But, who
it is 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, we did skip the Murder Hornet saga, so we're due for a surprise, insertion of some bullshit, right?
Am I the only one still nervous about
I for one, did not skip the Murder Hornet saga. I was terrified and used my free time to be terrified of that.
Oh, wait. You were terrified of it, but did you actually experience any murder hornets? That's what I want to know.
Does that really matter?
Yes.
I think William's trying to.
Then no, I did not. Then I did not see a murder hornet. I'm sorry.
I think William's trying to con his way into
but I did put cardboard on all my windows.
Now William is part of the Ultimate Losers Club. He has a wrench now too.
Are you trying to deny Dillard's lived experience of being horrified of something he's never seen?
Absolutely.
This is 2020.
Yes, I am trying to.
Yes, we are.
I am the ultimate non-diverse, non-SJW. I literally work against social justice in my off time.
Hey, Metal, are you going to run my stream through your stuff?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you the stream key right now, then.
So Larry actually.
Hey, don't go setting up your own show during our show. God damn.
Feel free to do so. We literally have nothing planned. This is all winging it from here.
We don't.
But
that's just gives us an excuse
Larry,
to drink and not look pathetic.
Larry alluded to it in his.
Dude, I got a whole bottle of margarita, pre-mixed margarita. I'm gonna get faded and X-rated.
My man just said faded. Oh, he's smoking pinner joints of oregano over there, getting faded. Anyway, No, Larry alluded to it in his introduction, saying that we cover all kind of stuff. I do want to announce at a future date there will be a crossover, Morning Decay and the Gospel of Comics, and we will be reviewing Jim Cornette's Tales from Wrestling. It's a WWE comic.
Oh yeah.
But Broski and Optic Decay, Jim Cornette presents Behind the Curtain, Real Pro Wrestling Stories from 2019. It's 81 pages, so it's basically reviewing a trade. And it goes through several different stories that Jim Cornette recounts, one of which includes El Santo, which is one of my favorite wrestlers that we've never talked about. But that's something to look forward to. We haven't got it nailed down yet, but copies have been procured by all people involved. And
except me.
No, you have a copy as well. You just haven't looked for it yet.
Oh.
I didn't tell you about the copy that was coming to you, but you have a copy.
Well, thanks.
Anyway.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah. But we'll be looking at that. We'll be covering some Jim Cornette pro wrestling stuff, and we'll have Is Still Real to Them founder, Broski, and Optic Decay wrestling fan on for discussion about that. We might try and make that into either a bi-weekly or monthly thing, because there are some interesting wrestling comics out there spanning all the way back to the 90s with WCW and the WWE. Also, there are comics based on wrestling as a genre that have nothing to do with professional wrestling in the real world. Optic and Broski are thin-skinned little pussies who Steve shies everyone who doesn't kiss their ass. I mean, I disagree, but whatever. I like those guys. To each their own, though. You don't have to like them. They're going to come on and talk about comics with us. That's what we do here.
Well, if you're going to talk about wrestling comics, you have to bring up Kinnikuman.
And why is that?
Also known as, well, it's probably the best wrestling manga ever to exist.
Oh, that might be something very...
I saw a wrestling comic book one time. It was called The Nail. It was awful.
I feel like you're leading me into a trap.
Nah, it's like one of them, like Rob Zombie, Diamond Dallas Page compilation wrestling comic book. It was so bad. It was the worst thing I ever saw.
Oh, cool. We'll definitely review it. Right up our alley.
Fuck yeah, I'll probably love it. Yeah, I'll probably think it's the greatest thing ever then.
But no, because I've been getting more and more into to current pro wrestling and reliving my my adolescence and rewatching some old WWE stuff, I figured Broski's doing pretty well with his Is Still Real series.
That's code for he's having a midlife crisis, folks.
Well, I haven't bought a Ferrari yet, so mainly because I can't afford one. I can't afford a midlife crisis here.
That's fair.
But if you could, would you get a Corvette or would you get something else?
Nah, man, I would just totally buy a truck and jack it up like 8 feet off the ground.
Oh, fuck, dude. I get an 87 Trans Am.
No, if we're being real, I would get
the 79.
If we're being real,
with
I
the
would
T-tops and shit.
The T-top, dude. Fuck me.
No, man, I'd get a Barracuda. I'd get a 56 Barracuda.
Barracuda? You're
Barracudas in 56.
Shut up. I want to pretend like I know cars.
Oh shit! I got Tyler Carpenter over here. I gotta go say what's up to him. I'll be back, you guys.
What,
right, man?
What? Get out of here, Dylan. What car would you buy, Metal?
He's gone.
Metal,
He's dead.
you there?
He's dead, Jim.
Oh. Okay.
No, I'd probably.
I would just buy a turbocharged Porsche engine to put in my current car.
I'd probably get like a 70s T-Bird or something, man. Just something made out of metal.
Oh, actually, 72 Thunderbird is my favorite car, so that's probably what I'd go with.
Yeah, same.
There you go.
Same.
Nice.
And, I'd put the original, like, decal paint job on it where you do the stencil and then you paint the entire car and leave the undercoat showing. and then clear coat over that.
Oh
yeah.
Get that glitter.
Well, actually, what you do is you have to do no, what? You gotta do that gold glitter base coat, then black with the stencil over it, then clear coat it.
Yeah.
Get that nice.
No, but see, I would do it the opposite. I would do
black.
it a glitter red bait like top coat, but I'd have that flat matte black undercoat. Like it would be candy on the outside, but the eagle would, or the T-bird would be matte black. That would be how I did that.
Okay. I can dig it. I'd go for like a 50s like Plymouth coupe with a small block engine in it.
I think William's talking about the late '90s in professional wrestling. Yeah, just a bunch of sweaty muscle men and spandex granny panties rolling around on the mat. That's the late '90s in WCW.
How do you have that video of me, William?
I sent it to him. I sent it to everybody that watches the show.
Damn it.
Rabbit cat. I don't know. Rabid Tie Cat? I don't know. The girl with the shaved head we saw earlier was the one that kept interrupting Zack Snyder. The person behind the Snyder Cut. The organizer and main attraction.
Are you sure that was a girl?
I am, unfortunately. Not intimately sure, but yes, it's a girl.
If it's in the industry right now, I can't be sure if anyone's a guy or a girl. It's just all too confusing.
Exactly. Oh no, I just assume they're all women, like Tom King.
That's fair.
Also, Metal, you weren't here for this rant, but do you remember the comics pledge that Tom King put out?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let me ask you, as somebody who's not familiar with our show and is not familiar with us as people,
well, semi-familiar. I've been around a few times.
Well, I'm just saying, like you're not familiar with our brand of humor or whatever, but I mean, you might be. But anyway, getting to the point.
I was on one of Dillard's streams with him. He's familiar with our brand of humor.
Okay.
I've actually been on a few of Dillard's streams with Church. So
okay. So you are from okay, but let's put it like this, right? The comics pledge. Tom King promoted this thing, even though it was obviously written by a bunch of, like, let's be real here, underdicked women. How prevalent does sexual harassment have to be in an industry in the era of COVID-19 where 90% of comic creators are working from home, yet they still have to put out a fucking PSA for sexual assault?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, are they assaulting them through the keyboard now?
No, man. Well, I'm pretty sure it's just a bunch of asshole pics going to everybody at this point.
Probably, yeah.
Just so all you dudes in the comic book industry that these women are sexually frustrated with, the G-spot is up, is in and up. Just go right up. It's not that hard. 2
centimeters to the left, asshole.
Well,
it's like a.
It would be less difficult if they were hard.
Yeah, but I mean, you see the stock they have to choose from. I mean, Gail Simone, Mags.
Yeah, that's slim pickings.
Yeah, that's fair.
Takashi Cakes or whatever the fuck his name is.
I just want to make it. Hold on, I just want to make it clear though. Here on the Gospel of Comics, we love women. We think they're great. I mean, mostly because without them, there would be no cookies.
We do, but Rabbit Tie Cat on the chat basically says that the pledge basically said women have no agency of their own, and I agree with that. Like, I don't think that I need to sign a piece of paper to not like flash my dick at a woman at an Arby's. I've never done that. I have no plans to. But apparently, if you work in comics in the mainstream, you have to be reminded, hey, don't pull your fucking dick out in the middle of the goddamn Zoom conference. Hey,
are you not supposed to do that?
No, you're not. You're not. Well, I mean, unless everybody there is cool with you pulling your dick out, then by all means.
Oh, okay.
But, if you didn't ask beforehand, maybe don't do it just arbitrarily and get, curious as to why people are mad at you and making you put out a pledge not to sexually harass them.
I mean, last time I did it, four people looked and nobody saw it. So.
Well, I mean, But, no, I did receive a copy of Captain Love this week, so when you get your copy, we'll have to do a review on that. That came excellently packaged, and I did a brief read through of it. I haven't done an in-depth read through yet, but yeah, Drew-ish, fantastic creator. I love what he did there. Hey baby, want to work on New Warriors? I'll show you my safe space. Spread's asshole.
Got a standalone issue just for you.
Oh, the New Warriors? Is that what you're talking about?
No, he has a standalone issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. It was an erection joke, Church.
Okay, yeah. I mean, anyway, no, I'm looking forward to the wrestling thing. I watched Extreme Rules this weekend. I know you don't really give two shits about wrestling, Ayrton, but there were two standout matches from that. They actually ended up using practical effects in the eye for an eye match, so that was good. Rey Mysterio lost.
Okay.
It looked like he was holding his eyeball in his hand, and the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, puked all over himself after seeing that, so that was good. I'm wondering how he just arbitrarily induced vomiting, or if it was just kind of a gag that everybody there knew.
That would be my guess.
Like, if he just,
or they surprised him with it, and
No, because he's known he was doing an eye for an eye match. I just thought it was going to be, like, CGI and hokey as fuck, but it was actually pretty fucking brutal. Like, they were trying to shove kendo sticks in each other's eye sockets and shit.
Oh, damn.
Then there was the cinematic swamp match between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, in which you couldn't really tell what the fuck was happening until the end, when they both ended up in a lake and the Fiend came out, so we guess Bray Wyatt won. But it really kind of paid homage to a graveyard match that happened back in 2000 at Bash at the Beach in WCW, right at the end of their whole deal, where Vampiro fought the Demon, which was like the Kiss proprietary wrestler, which I think there's a comic book about him. So I really am trying to find that now so that we can review that. Because the Kiss Demon, like, I know there are Kiss comics out there. I think IDW or Dark Horse did them, but I know there are Kiss comics out there.
We need to review Kiss.
Basically, it's just page after page of a depiction of me, which is much skinnier, doing rails of coke.
So just your high school yearbook photos?
Basically, yes. Every time, occasionally you'll catch me like fucking with my nasal passages. You'll get to see my my septum reconstructive surgery.
Ooh, all right, I can dig it.
Can't wait to see what happens at the end of the arc.
Heart attack. I'm gonna spoil it for you.
Oh, darn it. Now there's no reason to read.
Brain aneurysm.
I just put the straw straight into the 8-ball and snort the whole thing and, pass over to the next panel.
He actually falls out of the panel and lands in the next one.
Correct. On a stretcher, they can't revive me. I mean, is there any better way to go out? Don't answer that. Anyway, no.
Smothered by tits?
So, I guess we're wrapping up the show. We've got about a half hour left, I guess. What should we do for Monday's show? I had a couple of interesting ideas. I had a couple of interesting ideas.
I have a weekend to read anything.
You do have a weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an actual weekend this time, so I can actually read shit. What I want to do, so we should find, like, I don't know, like the 10 worst rated comic books of all time.
Well, one of them, we've already reviewed 2 of them. We've already reviewed 2 of them.
Well,
I mean, Skate Man is definitely on that list.
Well, no, that's one of the greatest comics of all time. What
that's
are you
because
talking
you
about?
have shit taste.
No,
that's why you hung around this show for so long. You don't know what's good or not.
I want to read and review something that's just horrible that we can just laugh at for an hour and a half.
I still have the entire Pit series downloaded.
I mean, what are you talking? I said horrible. That's fucking great.
Well, I mean, I feel like horrible for you would be something like, you know, I kill giants or fucking mouse or something that's actually impactful and has some like resonance in the comic community. I feel like you would say, "Oh, that's shit," even though you know it's critically acclaimed and actually is good on a fucking psychological and spiritual level.
Yeah, but psychology is kind of quack science.
That's why I put psychological and spiritual. You fucking hack.
No, I just let's just find something really bad, like as bad as we can find.
That's I mean, I've got some bad stuff.
Unless you have a,
we can read the Electric Superman trade.
Okay.
Everyone hated Electric Superman.
All right, let's fucking do it.
I mean, we can read the trade where he split into red and blue Superman.
Is it? Well, is it like entertaining bad, or is it just like I want to shoot myself bad?
I mean, I hated it. I hated it so much that I quit reading Action Comics and fucking Superman for probably about 5 years. Like, I missed the entire rebirth of Superman from it.
All right, then we should do that one.
So, which I actually did have to go back and reread the Rise of the Supermen, which introduced the clone Superboy and Steel and Cyborg Superman and all of these other. And I just found a half-eaten banana under my desk because I have a 3-year-old that hates me.
Did you kill a bag of puppies or something and felt you needed punishment?
Who? Me? Oh no, I actually liked the Rise of the Superman saga. That was actually pretty good.
Oh.
I mean, for the time period. I grew up reading comics from the 70s, man. Like, that was what my dad had in his collection that I started reading. So, by the time I got to the 90s and the stories were actually more dynamic and they weren't like one and dones, I was captivated no matter how terrible it was. I enjoyed the original Parallax saga, for fuck's sake. Before they made Parallax an entity of the Yellow Light, before Yellow Light was actually a thing in Green Lantern, the Parallax saga, where Hal Jordan just became a fucking murdering madman. I love that shit. And don't get me started on fucking Secret Wars and Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, please don't start with Secret Wars.
But by the time that they killed Superman off and everybody was paying like $100 at the comic shop for a copy of the Death of Superman book. Absolutely, William. DM me. We'll bring you on, buddy. DM me on Twitter or Discord, either one. In fact, if you're not already in the Discord and you would like to join, here is a link in the YouTube chat. Oh shit! Pull the period off the end. Yeah, just pull the period off the end.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna dip out.
All right, buddy. Yeah, go ahead and start your show with Willard. We appreciate you jumping on, man.
Run it like I did last time. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Always.
Yeah, thanks for having me,
man. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Not what I expected from one of Dillard's friends. I expected a lot more trash talk. Chad just dropped a link in the show suggestions here. John Saxon.
I love that you forgot that you were on a stream with him multiple times.
whenever I go onto one of Dillard's streams, it's either a hangout or a fucking StreamYards or something, and I can't keep up. Like, I just, because people cycle in and out. And usually by the time Dillard's streaming, I am already beyond FooBar. Like, I shouldn't be on the internet at all.
That's fair.
Like, by the time I end this show, I shouldn't be on the internet, but, you know, there's actually some liquor left in my bottle tonight, so I can still coherently speak.
Oh, shit.
Metal is also Rick's co-host.
Well,
yeah,
that sucks.
I've heard of him there. I just didn't know that I had been on stream with him. I've only been on a couple of Dillard shows. Like, and not even in that big of a capacity. And absolutely blasted out of my mind. So everybody get all the way up off my back. Motherfuckers expect me to show up on the internet sober? I end up saying my real name out loud or some shit. Rusty Cage seems to be going off against Comicsgate.
Aw, shit.
Oh, man.
I don't know if we have time for that.
We do. We do. I'll make time to bring up Rusty Cage on the show.
Do we? Because if we go much more than, you know, the next little, like, 10, 15 minutes like we normally should, I'm going to be in the beginning stages of pissing myself. So
Go piss. I'll carry the show. Go take a leak. I'll start off. We'll wait for Ayrton to get back on the Rusty Cage thing. But ladies and gentlemen, it's just you and I now, and I fully expect all of you to leave because of that. But if you don't, I just want to express a heartfelt thank you for hanging out with us, enjoying the show, taking shots at me, taking shots at Ayrton, all of that. I really do appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a big thing that I look forward to every week is coming in here. Donny Cates hangs out with that Satanist Baby Bones. I have no idea what you're talking about. However, that doesn't surprise me. Or are we talking about Takashi Coates or whatever, the Black Panther guy? Donny Cates was one of those guys that was going against Ethan in Comicsgate and caught some backlash for that, but he also did a phenomenal Venom run recently, so I have a hard time shitting on that guy as far as prowess goes, but whatever. Also, I didn't like the Venom movie as much as I thought I would. I mean, it was a good movie, but it just completely, like, eliminated the Spider-Man element from Venom. And without Spider-Man, there is no goddamn Venom. I mean,
that Venom movie was awful.
I mean, it was a good movie.
That Venom movie was awful. I hated it.
If you watched it on the merits of its own movie, right? Oh, Tim Doyle? Fuck that guy. He's Tim Doyle. Tim Doyle's a fucking pederast. Supposedly. Allegedly. I don't have concrete proof and would never accuse him. However, Tim Doyle has been alleged to be a pederast and touch little boys. I've heard that. I don't want to, obviously I wouldn't want to put myself in danger of any kind of lawsuit. But Tim Doyle, yeah, he touches little boys, so I've heard. That's legal to say, right?
As long as it's alleged.
Yeah, supposedly. Maybe.
Yeah.
Video games, comics, and cartoons.
It's possible,
children.
perhaps.
Men today are just girly children, so much soy and BPA. Maybe, but...
Didn't you say you're writing a comic?
It's kind of a natural evolution, honestly, and that's actually a good point. If men had any, if the lower class had any institution to be able to elevate themselves in any real regard, then there wouldn't be as much of a demand for entertainment and distractions. But unfortunately, we live in an era where small businesses are shuttered and shut down, where Amazon is allowed to operate through a pandemic. Small business loans go to major airlines and corporate entities more so than actual small businesses. School taxes and school relief funds are used for private schools that benefit the children of the politicians distributing the money, as opposed to public schools that institute for the middle and lower class. I mean, we live in a world where you don't really have a choice but to be a bitch, unless you just want to storm a government building and start shooting people, which I completely disavow. My comic is cool, though. Absolutely. That's all you got to say. The video games I play are cool, so they also get a pass.
I see. I think it's a little bit different than what you're saying. Like, men have always held on to certain things from when they were children that they kept doing, as far as like hobbies and stuff like that go.
Yeah, like, but it was usually like model cars into like working on real cars.
Well, not necessarily. Like, my dad still has some of his old like RC cars from when he was a teenager, and he just rebuilt one of them and set up a dirt track in his yard so he could race it around.
Right.
So, I mean, the stuff you're into does evolve to an extent. I mean, the comics we're reading, today, the last like 15, 20 years, are nothing like the comics of the past back in like the 70s and 80s that were much more tame and more child oriented. They're much more adult now. So those have also changed with the times. It's having a hobby and something that you like to do just because it was something you started doing as a kid isn't always necessarily childish.
I'm listening. I'm just looking for Todd McFarlane.
Fair enough.
He
but I mean,
put out a.
I'm sure every single.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm sure every single one of you in the chat, because I know for a fact that at least 4 of you don't regularly read comics still, have something that you're still into that you got into as a kid. Doesn't necessarily make it childish. But yes, there is too much soy in BPA. I will give you that point. Absolutely. Eat more red meat, you fucks.
That's correct. Anyway, where were we going? Oh yeah, Rusty Cage. We got about 15 minutes. So Rusty Cage has apparently been going off on Twitter about Comicsgate. Let's take a look at what he says here. I'm gonna pull our Discord overlay.
Yeah, link me
so
some
people can read it. Oh, I need to link it to you. You can't just find Rusty Cage on on Twitter. Okay, that's fine.
I can, but I have the I'll pull it up on the
Nope, it's in the live show. It's in the show suggestions now. You can just click there.
Okay, I fucking got it.
Uh-huh. So Rusty Cage says, "Is Comicsgate actually a real thing? It seems like a bunch of fucking dickheads trying to get power and money by bullying the other losers who also make comic books, using the same tactic they present themselves to be again. Cultish and weird." Now, for those of you that don't know, Rusty Cage has been doing an independent crowd-funded comic called Requiem for the Crazies for a couple of years now. He also does music, in which we use some for the intro, but I feel like it's hard to say that Rusty Cage hasn't known about Comicsgate. Like, that's
Comicsgate drama,
right? Like, he's had to have known about it, right?
You would think so. It almost seems like some stuff came to a head, like what you went off on Monday so gloriously.
Wasn't that beautiful? Like, I listened to it again, and people were like, Are you not pulling that down? Like, you've been neutral this whole time. Like, no, I'm not pulling it down. That's how I actually fucking feel. But we have a second tweet here. ComicGate pretends to be about getting social justice out of the comic community, but they really just want to be gatekeepers for who should or should not be accepted in the crowdfunding circuit. Just fat boomers who do good inking, write mediocre plots, and kinda use the internet.
Oh. I wonder who that's talking about.
I mean, I think he's talking about John Malin, Ethan Van Sciver, and Cecil. That's just me.
Maybe Anna.
She's not a fat dude.
My bad. It is 2020 after all.
There are a couple more. I'm not going to pull those up directly on screen. I'll just read them. Are there any men involved with ComicGate or just bitches? All y'all do is draw pictures. Cavemen did that shit 200,000 years ago. Who is a part of ComicGate and why? Seriously, I'm going to like all of these tweets. There we go.
Chad and William are about to have some blood sports in our general chat.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, we're only going to be on for 10 more minutes, so you guys better make it quick. But
that's what she said.
Hey, it's, after 30, you only really know how to make it quick. But no, I support indie creators, absolutely. I will promote anybody's book that wants to come on or that I reach out to because I appreciate their book. I don't segregate in that volume. You don't have to proclaim ComicGate anymore. I don't stand by that. I think the ComicGate was a road to hell paved with good intentions, and I think it became the thing that I hated.
Like every single hashtag movement.
Well, and I say that with much more sobriety than I had last week. I'm a few drinks in,
sure.
But last week I just kind of let the floodgate down, and I'm sorry. I have a problem with the idea that Mike Miller and Doug TenNapel and Edwin Boyette were basically kicked out of ComicGate, and all they did was express an opinion. But when Ethan Van Sciver does something horrendously more just offensive and should be completely just disavowed by everyone who stood by him for doing it to Mike Miller, I think it's disgusting. Like, it's hypocritical, and I can't stand a fucking hypocrite. Like, I'm not going to tarnish any of my relationships with anyone. I think that, Don Chen working with Ethan is a great thing. I think it's a fantastic thing that Don Chen is back in comics. And I have no problem promoting him and,
that's
reading his book. But
that's the greatest thing to happen in comics in the last 20 years.
Absolutely. But will I individually ever support Ethan Van Sciver again? Absolutely not. And it's for the simple fact that he, in my opinion, to me personally, has betrayed the foundations of what he proclaimed to build up and then doubled down on it. And if we've learned anything from Box Day, it's that SJWs always double down. So, I'm sorry, you can't claim to fight against something when you use their tactics and do the same thing they do. Hate me if you want to. I don't think any less of you if you still like Ethan, if you still support him. I will never do so again. Sorry. And I say and do that knowing full well that it could mean somebody coming for my fucking scalp, quote unquote, digitally. I don't care. I can't sit here and grin through my teeth and say that, oh yeah, I still support C, because we've been very, very upfront about the idea that ComicGate is what the comic industry needed at the time. It's just turned into something worse than the comic industry already was, in my opinion.
Right.
Because the goal to me wasn't drive people out of the industry. The goal to me wasn't, push people away. The goal was to just get everybody on the same page, and that's not what this is anymore. But I'm not going to get into another full-fledged rant about it. I just wanted to say that I fully stand behind everything that was said. I'll not be pulling the stream down. Send it to fucking Ethan. I don't care. Like, I respect the guy for what he does. He's a great artist. I'll never take that away from him. I think that he's abusing his platform and he's abusing his customer base. You'll never make me think otherwise of that. Like, I don't care. If people want to pay for his bullshit, then by all means, I'll never do so again, and I'll never advocate that anyone else does.
Hello?
So, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, Discord just cut me out completely for a second there.
Anyway.
The fuck, Discord?
Did we decide what we were doing for Monday?
Something terrible.
Right. I suggested Superman Red Blue. Let me just do a quick search
Yeah.
here.
Do we just put it in the Google Doc?
I didn't put anything in the Google Docs. 15 worst comics of the decade. Marvel. In the history of comics, Marvel was a 2002 6 or 7 issue miniseries written by Bill Jemas.
6 or 7?
Yeah. That was created for a publicity stunt called
Decide.
Which you can probably read about somewhere else. Suffice to say, the 2 Marvel comic series came out of a stunt. Ron Zimmerman's Ultimate Adventures and Marvel. They're both terrible. So Marvel is option number 1. Oh yeah, we might get kicked out of YouTube again for that one. There's some provocative coverage. Dark Knight Strikes Again.
I like that.
2001, 2002. As Neil Young said, it's better to burn out than to fade away. So let's all go back in time.
No. I want
Go ahead.
I want the B movie of comics, not just poorly written mainstream Marvel or DC. I want really bad, the very first Aftershock comics have to be horrible.
Let's see.
Fuck you,
Trouble from Marvel Epic. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm watching him and William go back and forth in the general.
Oh, in the general chat of our Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
My neck is very slender, like a giraffe.
Is optic and fake neck cancer in the server at Chad Middleton? I think Optic's a member of the server. Yeah, he's been in here. He's been on the show before. He's not very active. But
I mean, it's basically you, me, Chad, Matt, and Novel Bro are the only active ones in the server.
Yeah. But you guys work it out. You know.
Well, no, me and Chad are about to have some beef.
Why?
In the show chat.
What? What are you talking about?
You not see that?
William, I don't think you realize that everybody that came on this comic or on this show for the first year was made a mod. I don't really. I just
who came on the comic.
Yeah, whatever. I don't really care. William can just have his beef or whatever. I don't particularly. I don't have time to care. Anyway, going back to it.
Sorry. I mean, Denny hasn't interrupted in a while, so I need somebody to have some beef with.
Yeah.
And Dillard wasn't let down tonight.
Ooh. Awesome holiday special, Fighting American. That's a Rob Liefeld book.
Okay. Yes, we are doing that. Rob Liefeld, that fucker who probably rolls down his
And then
sleeves
Santa the Barbarian.
Ooh.
And then Warrior Christmas. 3 Christmas books.
Yes, we are doing those.
Okay, I'll see if I can find them. Whichever ones I can find, we'll do a show on for Monday. But
all right.
that's
Christmas in July, motherfuckers.
Absolutely. The last Monday in July. Probably the last show in July, right? Because next Saturday is the 1st of August.
Oh, shit. Already? God damn.
Yeah. So, you guys work everything out. I'm not not picking sides, but whatever. And I like Killing Joke. He's been a stand-up guy with me. I don't get involved in gay internet beef because, I have 3 children and I'm married and have had sex before. as obvious by the 3 children. But no, I
could have been in vitro.
I know where my block buttons are if somebody gets out of line and starts pissing me off, but usually it never gets to that point because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, anytime I try and start some fun beef on Twitter and shit because I'm bored, motherfuckers just block me. They'll respond and then just block me. I'm like, well, you were boring. Gotta find somebody else now to fight with.
Have you gotten into it with Bronx Blogger? It takes him a little while to block somebody.
Does it? Yeah, I'll try that one. There's one thing that sets him off, isn't there? Can't remember what
it is. Reminding him he has AIDS.
Yeah, that. The cancer coof AIDS.
Yep. But I don't know what his ad is because when we started the show I blocked him, but
I think I follow him, actually.
I don't need him flagging the show down just because he hates me, but
that's a good point.
I mean, whatever. We've made it this long. The Killing Joke is the only real person on here. I don't understand you, William, and I love you for it, buddy. You guys...
We've only been taken down a couple times.
Yeah, and usually it's for some bullshit.
I know, it's always the dumbest shit, isn't it? It's great. Yeah. I love it.
But anyway, that's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed the witch talk moon explanation in the first half of the show and the
witching hour here on the Gospel of Comics
and the complete and utter delusion into chaos and bullshit that the second hour became. Special shout out to Metal, Dillard Draws, William and Chad, Ribbit Tie Cat, and let's see, I think there was some Matt, Matt, Novel Bro. And a very special thanks to Larry Bernard for coming on and telling us all about that. Anyway, we appreciate it, guys, and we will see you Monday where we will review 3 awful Christmas comics as long as we can get our hands on them by then.
Fuck yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.
Good night, everybody. I'm going to go shit talk Dillard now.